Thomas and Friends, making tracks to great destinations.
This is a story about Arthur, a proud tank engine. He arrived on the island of Sodor with a spotless record, but soon found himself in a sticky situation.
Arthur, the big tank engine, had just arrived on the island of Sodor. It was his first day at work on Sir Topham Hatt's railway. I must be on time, Arthur worried as he chuffed through the countryside. He didn't want to be late.
Right on time,
smiled Sir Topham Hatt.
This is Arthur. He will help you sort freight cars and pull freight.
Nice to meet you, said Arthur politely.
And he's got a spotless record,
Sir Topham Hatt added.
What's a spotless record?
Whispered Percy. It means he's never done anything naughty, Thomas frowned. At Brundham Docks, the three engines were soon working together. Thomas and Percy knew that they weren't supposed to bump the freight cars, but it was so much fun. Join in, Arthur, laughed Thomas. No, thank you, said Arthur quietly. He didn't want to spoil his spotless record. Arthur's first job was to push a line of freight cars to the market. He coupled up behind the freight cars, which were loaded up with crates of fruit. The freight cars, though, were not behaving themselves and sang songs to tease Arthur.
1, 2, 2, come on, let's go. The fruit's going moldy because you're too slow.
How rude, huffed Arthur. The freight cars singing gave Thomas a naughty idea. Sir Topham Hatt doesn't like the freight cars to sing, said Thomas. You must tell them to stop. Thank you, Thomas, said Arthur. I will. Arthur puffed steadily out of the docks. The freight cars will cause trouble for Arthur if they're not allowed to sing, laughed Thomas. Arthur was chuffing cheerfully through the countryside when the freight cars began to sing again.
Chuff, chuff, chuff. You tiny puff, but you're too slow. You got no puff.
No singing, said Arthur firmly. It may be my first day, but I won't fall for your tricks. The foolish freight cars were cross.
If Arthur won't let us sing,
one car whispered.
We'll teach him a lesson,
chimed the others. The foolish freight cars put on their brakes and made their wheels screech and squeak along the tracks. Arthur struggled over bridges and huffed and puffed through tunnels. When poor Arthur puffed to the top of Gordon's Hill, the freight car swooshed down the other side, laughing all the way. Suddenly, Arthur's driver spotted a red signal at the bottom of the hill. He put on the brakes, but Arthur couldn't stop in time. Fruits of all shapes and sizes from the foolish freight cars flew into the air and landed splat, splot, splat all over Arthur. Arthur was terribly sad. It was his first day on Sir Topham Hatt's railway, and his spotless record was ruined. Soon Sir Topham Hatt arrived.
What has happened here?
He asked crossly. The freight cars were singing, said Arthur. I told them to stop, but they pulled me too fast. Please, sir, it's my fault, said Thomas sadly. He told Sir Topham Hatt what he had done.
Your record is still spotless, Arthur,
said Sir Topham Hatt.
Thomas, clear up this mess at once.
Soon Harvey arrived with the breakdown crane and lifted Arthur back onto the rails. Thomas stayed behind to help the workmen clear the track. It took a very long time to clear up the sticky mess. By the time Thomas puffed slowly home, it was nighttime. When Thomas arrived back at Titmus Sheds, Arthur's crew had cleaned the squash fruit from his funnel. Arthur looked spotless and sparkled from buffer to dome. I'm sorry I played a trick on you, said Thomas. That's all right, said Arthur. Thank you for telling the truth. Well, I never had a spotless record to ruin, smiled Thomas. From that moment, the engines knew they would become the best of friends.